Today we examine the Star Trek calculator sold by Mego Corporation of New York. It was called the TREK-ULATOR. At the time it was introduced in 1976, the original Star Trek series, which had been cancelled by NBC in 1969, was being aired by local TV stations through syndication and was gaining worldwide popularity. Through syndication, films were sold to local stations. Popularity grew rapidly. The iconic characters of Lieutenant Uhura, Lieutenant Sulu, Mr. Spock, Captain Kirk, Dr. McCoy, Chief Engineer Scotty and others became familiar invited guests into the living rooms of millions of viewers. The animated series, which first aired in September 1973 and ended in October 1974, was also available through syndication. The TREK-ULATOR was a functioning calculator. Made in Taiwan, specifically for Mego. It used 4 AA batteries and weighed just over 1 pound. It supported 6 functions with 4 rows of 5 keys each and a 9-digit display. The box it came in featured Mr. Spock using the TREK-ULATOR with the Starship Enterprise in the background. As one of the many Star Trek-related products produced by Mego, the TREK-ULATOR was seemingly less popular than its action figures, communicators, and other Star Trek items. The Mego Corporation, founded in 1954, was famous for action figures, play sets, accessories, and electronic toys. They produced Star Trek-themed products starting in the 1970s, riding the rising tide of popularity of the series in syndication. The original company ceased in 1983, but Mego was relaunched in 2018. Mego toys are often very collectible today. How many TREK-ULATORs were made? No exact production number was located. There appear to be many fewer produced as compared to action figures and other items. Finding a working TREK-ULATOR in mint condition today is pretty rare. One reason might be cost and competition from non-Star Trek calculators, which were smaller, more functional, and less expensive. Simultaneous with the growing popularity of Star Trek during the early 1970s was the public's increasing fascination with pocket calculators that were being introduced into the market. Although prices were exorbitantly high at first, they rapidly came down as units were mass-produced. As this chart shows, the first pocket calculators marketed in the very early 70s carried price tags of $200 to nearly $500. Although prices for graphics and scientific calculators remained relatively high, by 1976, low-end calculators could be found for under $20. Competition was fierce. Hundreds of different models were marketed, and this highly competitive period was referred to as the Calculator Wars. Even though there is no exact counterpart to this device in the original series, except perhaps in the mirror universe. Creating a Star Trek-themed calculator, like the TREK-ULATOR, was a smart way to take advantage of the growing popularity of this technology. We have acquired 2 nearly identical units specifically to share some high-resolution images of the external and internal features for historical interest. These calculators are relatively large, each measuring 5 inches wide by 9½ inches long. Although the copyright on the box says 1976, each calculator carries a 1977 copyright. The reason for this discrepancy is not clear. If you have any information on that, please share it in the comments section. The calculator on the right has been tested and its basic functions are working. The calculator on the left has problems. The continuously flashing LED lights indicate a malfunction. Normally, the flashing lights are accompanied by a beeping sound when the unit is first turned on or when the equal sign is pressed. We will be opening the malfunctioning unit for examination. For size comparison, here is a 1978 Texas Instruments Wisatron calculator, which uses a TMC 0907 processor dated 1977 and runs on a 9-volt battery. The smaller calculator is a 2002 Star Trek Nemesis promo piece with an LCD display and powered by an AG10 alkaline battery giving 1.5 volts. Opening the back of the TREK-ULATOR. With the 4 small Phillips screws removed, the back comes off easily. The screws are ferrous metal and so respond to a magnetic screwdriver. This is a better design than plastic or aluminum screws that tend to wear and strip over time. The largest component is the Texas Instruments microprocessor. Most integrated circuits made by Texas Instruments used a 4-digit manufacturing date code. 7627 means the 27th week of the year 1976. Although the unit appeared complete, the speaker is missing. A previous owner removed it, possibly for use in another unit. Here is what the speaker looked like from our working TREK-ULATOR. In addition to the processor, we identified 47 components. 9 transistors, 24 resistors. 9 capacitors, 4 LED display lights, 1 transformer, and several unidentified components. Here are the 3 components we are seeking more information about. If you can help identify these, please let us know in the comments section. Next, looking at the remaining components, it appears the construction could have been more ruggedized against rough use or shock that would likely occur over extended use. Wiring and soldering connections could become loose, causing malfunctions. Here is a disconnected wire found on the display panel. This could easily cause one of the malfunctions. Some users reported that while basic functions might continue working, using the advanced functions could result in math errors.
I made an error in my computations.
The rubberized keypad would have been subject to damage from dirt or liquids over time. On the positive side, users with some basic electronics know-how might have been able to do simple repairs on their own. A nearly impossible task with today's microcircuitry. We hope this provided an interesting look inside this vintage calculator from nearly 50 years ago. Today, the TREK-ULATOR remains a unique example of mid-1970s Star Trek history. For additional close-up views and other information, a brief image gallery follows.
I think I liked him with a beard better. Gave him character.